And we're talking with Dennis. Dennis, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Wonderful.
Good. So thanks for having me on the show. A newer listener, probably about a month or so.
Oh, good.
And the one observation, actually, listening to the last caller and read news and stuff. Every caller that calls in seems to have a ton of money, like millions of dollars. And then you read the press, the average 401k is, 100 grand at age 40 or 30 and stuff. So just quite interesting. Just wanted to bring that up.
Dennis, we do get phone calls from people that don't have a lot of money. But based on their questions, they will have a lot of money. And what's happened? So we did this program live on radio we started the show 30 years ago. So we were on radio for years. We would have a variety, because it's broadcast, right? So you'd have a variety of different questions. Now that we're podcast format and we end up talking about more complex strategies, just the people who tend to listen tend to be higher net worth people. And
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's your question for us?
So I'm about in the middle. Okay, so I'll tell you my question first, and then I'll sort of give you the
Perfect.
background, financial position, and so forth. So I'm 51 years old. My wife is the same age. My question is, do I need an advisor? And this is sort of like for the next 10 years, planning 10, 20 years in decade chunks, right? And it's for potential tax strategy, like wealth transfer, that sort of lens. Okay. Do you want me to give you our financials?
Yep, please.
Okay, perfect. So my wife works in a school district, hence the 403B, but between 401k and 403B, we have 1.8 million, about 1.65 of it's in the 401k. That's me, my wife's the 403B. We have about 550k in mutual funds, like non-qualified savings brokerage account.
How much was that? Give me that.
550.
550, yep, 550. We just paid off our house. We're in an expensive Northeast area, so it's about $2 million, market value. We both have life insurance. We each have $1 million term policy of 30 years that gets us to age 70, and then another $1 million term policy that gets us to age 80.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. My wife, we're planning, again, a retirement for her at age 55, though she can go longer, depending on where we're at then, about $60K a year. And another big one is...
really quick, what does she earn now if her pension's going to be 60?
About 110.
Okay.
Okay, another big nugget potential is inheritance from a set of parents, okay, which probably, are early to mid 70s, and I'm thinking maybe like $2.5 million. Like this is sort of like set, like they have a substantial asset base. And then our two big expenses, we have 5 years of college left between two kids, so one and then four more, at about 90 grand a year. And then our oldest is disabled. Okay. Like the whole Medicaid, Medicare system gets government funding and stuff. So like big picture, you heard the assets, not a lot of liabilities currently, but we're very cash poor because every dollar that goes in and comes out, goes out, and we're big spenders.
What's your income?
About 450 combined.
So your income is 340.
Correct.
And do you have a special needs trust set up for your disabled child?
We're in the process of doing that.
And how old is this child?
He's 24.
And how are your retirement accounts allocated?
Everything's in mutual funds. So of the 1.7, like it's all in mutual funds. I heard the last caller, there's nothing that's more than 10% like in one sector, but, probably about 20-ish% in small caps, another 20 in large cap value, and then the rest in, like S&P type stuff, like S&P or growth.
And all stock?
All stock in the 401k. Now, the non-qualified, I'm just going to jump to that briefly. That was recently from a death of a parent. So that sort of new money is in the last 6 months, and only 100 of that is currently in stocks, individual stocks, and the rest is unfortunately like money market / bond fund sort of. We were thinking of what to do with it because it came unexpected and didn't want to pile right in right away.
And what was what's the individual stocks? How did you choose those?
Just like the popular ones, like like in NVIDIA, Meta.
Okay.
Popular
like
now.
that.
Yeah, the popular now.
Yeah, NVIDIA's been around for a long, long time.
It has. It's
Yeah.
what's kind of funny about it.
Yeah.
Well, so the question is, would you benefit from a financial advisor, right? That was your starting question?
Yep.
Okay,
that's the
so
primary
we
question,
are
like thinking of the
we
next
are
10 or
number
20
one
years.
biased and number two conflicted. Okay, so we're biased because we are professional advisors. We've been doing this for a long time, and we see the value that we bring to clients. And frankly, the longer I've been in this industry, the greater I believe our value is. Not just the planning we do and the tax, all that. It's keeping people from making mistakes from which they cannot recover, and lived through enough market cycles, and then internally when life happens, there's a death in the family, an unexpected tragedy, and all that other crap that happens in life, like keeping clients focused on their financial plan and not making changes at the wrong time based upon emotions. Like that's pretty powerful.
I'm going to interrupt you here for a second because this is going to be able to answer the question for me. You paid off your home. How much did you owe? You said recently. How much did you owe on the home?
Like from the time we got it?
No, when you recently paid it off. Did you pay it off with the use of the inheritance?
We had a 15-year mortgage, and it was just
It ran out.
timing thing.
Okay, it wasn't. You didn't use inherited money to pay off the home.
No.
Okay,
no,
thank you,
no.
thank you. All right, that was.
And they were conflicted because this is the industry that we're in, and we're still, so we.
Well, here's what a financial plan would do for you, and it would be whether you need ongoing financial guidance or not. There's two questions to ask. One is, should I pay for a financial plan to make sure that I'm going the right direction and things are in place?
And then how should I allocate my dollars and stuff like that?
Yeah, and then I choose a retirement date, and for both my wife and for yourself, and they will actually run an analysis and review everything and say, okay, do this, and this. You can pay for that independent of asset management.
That's right.
Right?
Got it.
So
Okay.
they're two separate things. You can pay for a financial plan where you go in and it's basically a checkup and then it's a plan. The plan says, you say, Dennis, I'd like to retire at age 62. This is all I have. This is everything I've got coming in. My wife wants to retire at age 55. How do we replace her income at 55? And you pay for the financial plan. Then,
And what's the best way to fund the kids' college? And all
yeah, and then should we be funding money into a bypass trust for my son or my daughter that is special needs? So you could pay for that, and then you could decide, okay, I'm going to hire this advisor for an ongoing basis to manage the assets and to do this every year to make sure I'm on track. Or you could just pay for it once and you go on your merry way. Like, okay, here you go. Off you go. Or you could pay for asset management. Typically, firms will, if you're using them for asset management, will give you the financial advice for free.
It's all part of
It's all part of the management fee. But there are bespoke programs where you could just pay for financial advice. You would benefit.
Well, I know one firm, you can't become a client unless somebody pays for a financial plan. And talking to the founder of the firm, he says, well, we view it as a loss leader, right? So they don't charge all that much for the plans, but they know that so many, they're just like you. They're like, I don't know if I really need an advisor. I'll pay the whatever $1,000, $5,000 or whatever it is for the financial plan. And then afterwards they're like, wow, there's a lot of value here. Maybe I should just hire these guys ongoing. So there are firms out there that you can just get a fee for financial plan.
So
no question.
You would benefit from a financial plan. Once you go through that process, you'll answer your own question as to whether you would benefit from an ongoing relationship with a financial advisor. But if you were little brother, I would say, first of all, why did my parents have children so many years apart? The second thing I would say is pay for a plan. I've paid for plans for my own relatives from my firm because I thought they would benefit from them. And they're like, well, I don't want to spend the money. And I said, I'll spend the money. I'll pay for your own financial plan. You decide whether you want to hire these people on an ongoing basis, these people being Allworth. But there's many firms like us across the country.
Right.
So you absolutely should pay for a financial plan and then decide whether you want to engage them in a long-term relationship.
Got it. That makes sense, guys.
Right? Because, and you can do it by Zoom. I mean, it doesn't have to be an elaborate, you go into the office, you can do it in 2 or 3 Zoom meetings where you download information and they go to a Zoom meeting, ask you a bunch of questions like, what are your goals? What do you think about your child that it's going to need help? How many years? What's the situation look like? And then they'll give you a price. This is what I'm going to charge you for a financial plan. And they go through the plan, and at the end of it, you go, yeah, I like this. I'm going to hire you to manage my assets, or I'm going to come back to you in 3 years and pay you again.
Right. Okay.
I don't know why you have that $1 million to age 80 on the life
I
insurance.
kind of wanted the same thing too.
Sorry, what was that?
I don't know why you had that second $1 million to age 80 on the life insurance. Oh, so you have $2 million overall
Meaning
per
I probably
person.
don't need it.
You probably won't need it in your 70s.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought it past the age of 65, given your
My 20-year term just came up, and I'm 59, and I did not renew.
Okay.
So
it's just for extra security, I guess.
But you're paying
more
for that.
conservative approach.
And how long have you had these life insurance policies?
So the first one we got at age 40. Okay, that's the one that takes us to 70, and then we just did another $1 million recently.
And what is that one costing you? Just out of curiosity.
$220 a month per.
You might so this is something a financial advisor would be able to answer for you right away. You may want to requalify for a 10-year level term and get rid of that one because when they underwrite insurance policies, and I know you didn't call for this, but this is a podcast for all kinds of people.
Info.
When they underwrite a term policy for a specific number of years, the further it gets away from the underwriting, which is the medical qualification in order to get the insurance,
The worst health you're in.
and if you're in good health now and you've owned that policy for 10 plus years, it may make sense for you to go out and buy a new policy. Once you put that into place, cancel the old one, and you may save yourself substantial amounts of money.
Okay, that's actually a good suggestion.
But I think the concept here is by age 70, you should have your financial house in such a manner that you have financial independence. You don't have I don't think you didn't mention, unless you have a pension that you're going to have or anything?
Just my wife, just to
Yeah,
get
okay.
$2,000.
So the reality is, if you're now no longer working in your 70s and you die, your wife, there's not going to be a paycheck that's going to cease.
But the financial advice,
Got it.
That's my thought behind
when you
it.
pay for a plan, the amount of money that you would save just in life insurance costs alone over the next 15 years will pay for the financial plan. I promise you that.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
I'll definitely run the numbers.
All right,
All right,
I
Dennis.
appreciate it, Dennis.
We wish
Thank
you well.
you guys so
Thanks.
much. Appreciate
All right,
it. Take care.
thanks.